LeBron destroyed a player's career? Let's find out. Criticize LeBron all you want, but it doesn't take anything away from one of the best athletes the game has ever been witness to. Whether he's wearing the maroon and gold of the Cavs, or the red and the black of the Heat, or the purple and gold of the Lakers, James has entertained us with the intensity that he delivers every single game, and he has proven us time and time again why he is considered at least one of the 3 best players of all time. He's an all-around athlete who can score from anywhere on the court at any given moment, while also playing better perimeter defense than most other wing defenders. James has been lighting up on the court since he was taken out of high school in 2003 as an 18-year-old phenom, and today he's the same player he was then, except with more athleticism and a better understanding of the game, as well as a different uniform, of course. He has completed some of the most memorable plays in the NBA since 2003, so today we bring you the top 8 LeBron moments that prove he was the GOAT. At number 8, LeBron ends Jason Terry. The first mention on our list does not need much of an explanation. Back in 2013, one of the greatest poster dunks of all time occurred inside TD Garden in Boston, as LeBron James jumped out of the sky for this insane alley-oop poster jam on the Celtics' Jason Terry. I mean, just take a look at this video. This alone proves that he is worthy of being GOAT. Every time I see this, I get so pumped.
Jason Terry, good defense. Wade from behind takes it away. Chalmers, Cole, James!
At number 7, LeBron James pulls a Steve Nash with his pass to Eric Dampier. We can thank Eric Dampier and his inability to play offense for this unbelievable highlight. After Amari Stoudemire blocked Dampier's shot, he then promptly turned it over after James throws his arms up and sends the ball airborne towards himself. Without letting the ball touch the ground, James grabs the ball and throws it behind his head towards a wide open Dampier, who then slams it in for the easiest 2 points he'll ever have.
James steps through, finds Dampier. Great block inside by Sean Williams. What a pass by James to Dampier! Oh, wow!
A great defensive block, number 1.
At number 6, LeBron James tells Jason Richardson to quit showboating. Save it for the dunk contest, Jason Richardson. You're playing an actual regulation NBA game, and your team's down by 2 points in the middle of the 4th quarter. After a miss by James from 3, the Suns gave the ball to a wide-open Richardson, who has a guaranteed 2 points in front of him if he does a simple lay-in or dunk. Instead, he showboats by attempting a 360 for the flashy 2. What he isn't aware of is that James has worked his way up the court and was breathing down his neck, waiting for Richardson to make a mistake. James saw the time to strike, and he managed to block the dunk! Oh, blocked by James! The block then led to a wide-open three-pointer on the other end, which turned a potential tied game into a 5-point lead for the Cavs. For those who want to complain about James fouling Richardson, maybe J. Rich shouldn't attempt the 360 dunk during a dire moment of the game instead. At number 5, LeBron dunks on Damon Jones's ancestors. Damon Jones must have a Napoleon complex, because there's no honest way that he thought he would have deterred a 6'8 monster with momentum from finishing the fast break with authority. At 6'3, Jones has averaged a grand total of 0 blocks per game in his career. In total, he has blocked 20 shots between 98 and 2009 and averaged 0.1 blocks per game only twice during his NBA tenure. This is one of James' top poster dunks ever, and it comes courtesy of the misjudgment and questionable reasoning of Damon Jones. By jumping into James, he made this poster a lot more impressive than it should have been. At number 5, LeBron nets his first game winner against Golden State. LeBron James' first buzzer-beating game winner took a few seasons, but he managed to get it in impressive fashion against the Golden State Warriors. With his team down by 1 and a 6'11 center defending him near the perimeter, James crosses Ronnie Tarafe over to get some room, steps back, and shoots the 20-foot jumper with only 0.2 seconds remaining to just barely beat the buzzer. James, of course, hits the jumper and gives the Cavs a 106-105 victory to stun the Warriors and their surprisingly pro-Cleveland crowd. At number 3, LeBron James welcomes James Johnson to his Kodak moment. LeBron James' most intense poster by far. Poor James Johnson had no idea what he had coming for him when he allowed the superstar to beat him off the dribble. This occurred early during the Cleveland Cavaliers and Chicago Bulls' first-round series in 2010, and it was one of James' last great moments while wearing a Cavs uniform. It only took one quick move for James to work his way past Johnson and gain the open lane and advantage on offense. Instead of admitting defeat, the rookie decided to chase James down and attempt to block him. What he didn't realize was that he was chasing LeBron James down and nothing good could come from that. Especially trying to deter James when he's already set on throwing down a thunderous dunk. Johnson now lives in seclusion in Toronto. At number 2, LeBron James with no regard for human life. Now, this one isn't nearly as impressive as the dunk he had on James Johnson, but the implications of when this dunk occurred are what sets this poster apart from every other that James has had in his career. This took place during the Cavaliers semi-final series against the Boston Celtics in 2008. The Cavs were fresh off their first championship appearance in finals history, but the Celtics were still the favorites since they had picked up Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen during the offseason. The Cavs were outmatched, but they had a heart as they worked their way back from a 2-0 deficit to win Game 3 at home. They held a 7-point lead with a little less than 2 minutes remaining and needed to deliver the dagger if they wanted to close out a dangerous Celtics team that was 2 series away from winning the championship. After Joe Smith set a pick on Paul Pierce, James still had to deal with James Posey and Kevin Garnett. He delivered a beautiful fake on Posey to get him leaning on the wrong side, and then it's just Garnett keeping James from the rim. LeBron went up with full power and intensity and delivered the hammer upon Garnett's head to put the lead at an insurmountable 9. The Celtics would win in 7, but it was at this point that the Cavaliers organization decided to give the King a little help in the future. And finally, at number 1, LeBron James hits the game winner of his life. About 2 years before LeBron departed for the sunny shores of South Beach, he pulled off one of the NBA's greatest all-time postseason buzzer-beating game winners ever. The Cavaliers were already in trouble after dropping their first game at home, and were in even more trouble once Hedo Turkoglu hit a go-ahead floater to put the Orlando Magic up by 2 points with 1 second remaining. With the Cavs facing the possibility of going down 2-0 with 2 games in Orlando to look forward to, the team needed a hero, and the only player even capable of making a shot to put the team ahead was obviously LeBron. At the time, James had only made 1 buzzer-beating game winner before, and that was during a regular season game that made it 4th on this stupendous list. The team only had time to inbound it and then deliver a quick shot, so they decided to send it to James, who was a foot behind the 3-point arc with 6'10" Turkoglu and 6'11" Rashard Lewis draped over him. So, LeBron turned toward the basket, quickly threw up the shot, and watched as it miraculously dropped through the bucket to give the Cavs a 96-95 victory to tie the series at 1 game apiece. Unfortunately for the Cavaliers, they would ultimately lose in 6, but fortunately for the rest of us, we had this lasting memory of James and the greatest play of his career and one of the best in the history of the game. Although most of his GOAT plays are from the Cleveland and Miami days, his overall playstyle has become such drastically better, and his overall stats are also better than when he had at the start of this decade, so he has proved that no matter what, he will come out on top. Well guys, that's it for today. Let us know what was the best LeBron moment in your opinion in the comments down below. We hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys next time.